Have you ever wondered if you should pop your pimples? It's a question that's probably crossed your mind at least once. After all, those tiny little bumps can be quite the nuisance. But what actually happens when you decide to take matters into your own hands? Is it a harmless act, or is there more to it than meets the eye? Well, we're about to go on a journey into the world of pimple popping. So buckle up and stay tuned as we delve into what happens when you pop a pimple. So you've decided to pop a pimple. What happens next? First things first, cleanliness is paramount. Before you even think about tackling that pimple, make sure your hands are squeaky clean. You don't want to introduce any unwanted bacteria to your skin. Also, ensure that the area around the pimple is thoroughly clean too. Now let's delve into the popping process. When you apply pressure around the pimple, it causes an initial eruption. This is where the pimple, a small sac of oil, dead skin cells, and bacteria, bursts open. Then comes the release of pus, an oozy blend of the aforementioned oil, dead skin cells, and bacteria, along with white blood cells that have been fighting this mini-infection. This is the part that gives most of us a sense of satisfaction, seeing all that gunk finally out. But the story doesn't end there. Your body, ever the vigilant guard, responds to this event with inflammation. This is a natural defense mechanism, where your body sends in an army of white blood cells to clean up the mess and begin the healing process. While this process may seem straightforward, it's not without its risks. Popping a pimple is essentially creating a small wound on your face, and like any wound, it's vulnerable to infection and scarring. Now that we know what happens, let's explore the potential risks and benefits of this action. Popping a pimple isn't risk-free. There can be some negative consequences. Now let's delve into the main risks of this seemingly harmless action. First off, skin damage. When you burst a pimple, you're essentially tearing your skin. This abrupt action can lead to the creation of open wounds, which not only prolongs the healing process but also leaves your skin vulnerable to further damage. Next, we have scarring. Yes, those tiny red spots can leave lasting marks. The more you pop, the higher the chances of developing scars. This is particularly true for severe acne cases where the inflammation is deep within the skin. Lastly, there's the risk of infection. Our hands are not as clean as we think they are. By popping a pimple, you're introducing bacteria from your fingers into an open wound. This can lead to more pimples and, in severe cases, a skin infection. Risks can be daunting, but are there any benefits to this seemingly harmful action? Despite the risks, some people still find benefits in pimple popping. Indeed, some of the potential advantages include immediate relief from discomfort and potentially quicker healing times. Imagine having a throbbing pimple right on the tip of your nose, causing a distracting level of discomfort. Popping it might provide an instant sense of relief. This is because the pressure from the pus is released, which can lessen the pain. In some cases, popping a pimple can also lead to quicker healing times. Once the pus is drained, your body can start rebuilding the skin tissue, and the pimple may clear up faster. However, it's important to note that these benefits don't necessarily outweigh the risks for most people. While popping might provide temporary relief, it can also lead to long-term damage like scarring or infections if not done properly. So should you pop your pimples? The answer isn't as straightforward as it might seem. In the end, the decision to pop or not to pop is a personal one. Reflect on what we've discussed today, the process, the risks, the potential benefits. Popping a pimple can provide instant gratification, but it also carries risks, like infection and scarring. Your skin's health is important. So before making that decision, think about the potential consequences. Remember, when it comes to your skin, it's always better to be safe than sorry. Until next time, take care of yourself and your skin.